'Tis time for another tale of tragedy and woe and love and heartbreak and all of those kinds of stories in between, because it's a Ghosts of Boyfriends Past Minisode.
Yes, hello everybody.
I'm Liz Best.
And Tom Harris sits across.
You know how this works. This is we read your stories. We read you emails that you've sent in to us and some that we found on the internet, and you can go, wow, I'm not alone, or man, that was fucked up.
That's right.
That's how it works.
On our main episodes, we sit down with a guest and we explore their story. They'll tell it and it'll stretch out. Some stories that get sent in are a paragraph and they say everything they need to say in one paragraph. That's what this minisode is here to do.
So I have one that is written into us from someone who would like to remain anonymous. And it says, the story is back from like 5 or 6 years ago, back when I was 20, 21 and way less mouthy and shy. So I'll try to say it briefly but conversationally. I'm reading this whole thing out, not editing. So if the person who wrote in was expecting me to edit, have fun with me reading out every word that you wrote. So picture me, 21 years old. I have a crush on a guy. He invited me over. I tell him how long I'm going to be to come to his house for a date, as he has a pool and I'm obviously going to do a fresh shave, and chats have been sporadic, so I'm kind of unprepared at this point. I've checked Google Maps. He asks whereabouts I live, corrects me in how long I'm actually going to take. Idiot. I rock up at the time I prescribed and I'm in between freshly shaven and poorly shaven panic. Crusty red flesh from the rush.
Delicious.
His pickup line seems to be repetitive excuses to touch his wrist because check out how skinny it is. And then he expresses how his previous girlfriends, one of whom I met previous to this, but remember her telling me she was going to move back home and not come back and not continue to date him. I mention the now absent woman to clarify that I'm not the one who is an arse in being flirty. He mentions how he tends to date those with English as a second language as a joke because she was French, as he has bad luck with those who speak English as their sole language because they realise what an asshole he is sooner rather than later. Alas, 21-year-old me took it as humour, because I have a dark sense of humour. Flash forward to him inviting multiple girlfriends to an Australia Day party, dating those when he told me he didn't use Tinder, and only dating those with broken English in his future dynamics. It's bad because these women looked kind and sweet, so I'm not full of anger. And to be honest, they're clearly smarter than me in that I can only speak the one language. But I just remember that moment of truth and his subsequent choices and my concerns with them. My mum always used to say, if they tell you who they are the first time, believe them.
Yes.
He only dates women who speak broken English because it takes them longer to find out what an asshole he is.
It is a story-centric minisode, so we don't have to give advice or weigh in,
I'm just going to weigh in and say, what a dick.
Yes.
What a dick.
Sorry to dear readers that are looking for some optimism on this here minisode. It's not coming for you today because Tom's brought some heartache of his own.
Oh, shit. My stories are all heartachy too.
U-B-U-T. Here's a short and, not so sweet one. I fell in love with a guy. In an attempt to get closer to him, we became best friends. I fell harder and harder in love with him. We shared everything. We went on trips together. He taught me how to change oil on my car. I introduced him to some great books, movies, music. I watched him marry the girl of his dreams. It wasn't me.
Oh.
One of those short little horror stories.
Owie, ow.
Through the universe, through no fault of your own, the universe slams the doors of romance shut on you. Oh, I'm sorry, dear reader. They're probably some of the most painful, anecdotes to happen to you, right? The ones that you get, the ones where you have no control. There's nothing to blame, really.
I know, it's just one of those.
It's just your heart being held hostage.
And then you wonder if you could have had some kind of sliding doors moment and it could have been you.
And you drive yourself nuts for the rest of time. Oh, dear.
I found a story on news.com.au, because we do like attribution here where possible, about how someone discovered that their husband was cheating on them.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so basically...
Wait, can I have a guess that she woke up in the middle of the night suspecting that something is not right? Like
no,
Miss
but
Lavelle?
I wouldn't blame you for thinking that because sometimes we do have superpowers and that is the thing. So this separated, so she's separated when she's telling this story.
Right, okay.
And she said that she was recently flicking through some old photos from previous family holidays and she recalled how she was looking through some photos of, there's a trip that they'd taken to Disneyland with the children and the nanny. And she looked at one of the photos, the photos they take when you're on a roller coaster and,
the ride, yeah.
And mum's sitting with kid, protecting child, making sure child is okay. Dad's sitting with the nanny and they're sitting incredibly close. And in fact, she has her arm around his arm and is cuddling up to him in that photo. She said, we went to Disneyland and took the nanny with us to help the kids, mind you, not the husband. So they're all snuggled up and she's like wondering what age my kids will be when they put 2 and 2 together and realize that their father having a baby with the nanny was not appropriate. And a lot of people were like, well, the fact that they sat together was a big red flag. But, like, you sit with your kid on a ride, not the nanny, right?
Yes.
But imagine looking back and realising that you missed that. And imagine, here's the thing that I can't get over. The husband and the nanny knowing that there are photos taken on those rides. Like, did she cuddle up to him just before the flash to try and get the wife to know? Did they think that they'd never find out? Like, rude.
All I've had this entire story, listening to this entire story, is questions of my own, Elizabeth.
And we don't have to answer any of them.
We don't have the answers to it, and that's the problem. We for once we have questions, and we can't answer them.
Nope.
Well, we'll continue this fun roller coaster ride of misery. Thusly. I had a bit of a thing for this girl, Caitlin, that's a fake name, for over a year back in school. I used to speak to her whenever I could. I'd help her with her English homework, sit next to her on the bus, etc. The typical teenage romance crap. Caitlin and I both had a liking for this local band who had made it relatively big, so for her birthday, I got 2 tickets to see them at a homecoming show as a way of asking her out. I put the tickets in her card and wrote some crap about looking forward to taking her. Her birthday comes around and I give her the card, watch her open it, get a hug and a massive thank you, etc. But that was about it. I didn't think too much of the lack of comments regarding the asking out part. Concert day rolls around, I text her asking when she wants to get picked up.
Oh.
Yes, readers, she doesn't understand what I mean and tells me she's already on her way there with name redacted. Turns out she went with another guy. They started dating for a year or 2.
Oh, did she just... Oh, no, I just... Oh, that hurts.
See, we pretend to like doing this show, but every time we do it, we just end up angry and frustrated.
Okay, look, it's very unlike me, but because this has put me in a really shit mood, I'm going to finish with a nice story.
Here we go,
I've gone
please.
through back on my notes to try and find a nice story.
The audience and me and I are begging you to save us and to take us home.
This is from a TikTok video that I found online that I'm going to narrate to you.
Fun.
So... this girl is on the TikTok video and she reveals that her husband had a secret for 6 years that she only realized when she was trying on a new pair of shoes. So she says, I just discovered the 6-year secret my husband has been keeping from me. She added that what she found in a shoe was a message that said, I feel her, as in the brand filler, lot better when you're around. She said that she rang her husband and told him that she found a love letter in her shoes. And her husband was really confused as to why she'd only just noticed it, because it's an act that he has been doing for 6 years. He said, are you being serious? Acting like I should know what's going on. Apparently, he had written it inside all of her shoes for the last 6 years. And so she went and had a look at all of her other shoes and she had all of these beautiful handwritten love note messages, and I just think that's so friggin' sweet. And the fact that he kept doing it even though she never validated it.
Yes, it's perfect.
Stinking cute.
First of all, it's the way we all should be living life. Do good things when no one else is looking.
Yes.
Not for validation or kudos or anything. Do cute things, romantic things, or just in life, decent things, even when no one's looking. But this is great because it's all built up,
Yeah.
right? This sort of.
Can
He's
you
been
imagine
doing it
the
for 6
overwhelming feeling of love and romance you would feel realizing that this person's been doing it for ages?
So as much as you want them to notice quite soon what you're doing and to get that, but I think it's better, right, for her to not realize for 6 years and then go, oh my God, this whole time.
It's so similar to this story, and I'm probably going to get some of the specifics wrong, but there was this guy who'd been dating somebody for a couple of years, and every time they'd gone on a major holiday, he took a photo when her back was turned holding up the engagement ring that he'd bought, and he'd been doing it since the first year that they were dating.
I like it.
As soon as he knew, and then when he proposed, he gave her all of the photos of all the holidays that they've ever been on, showing that he knew.
Your heart would,
and he was waiting for her to get ready.
Your heart would fall out of your ass realizing that, right?
You would just
go, what on earth has happened to me? Wow. Thank you, Liz, for that closer.
I'm sorry, I don't know why I had to cheer you up, but I had to cheer you up. Guys, if you've got any stories about something that someone did that you only just noticed that was super romantic, I would love to hear them. Yes. I'll make Tom read them out so that I don't get a reputation for being schmaltzy, because it's not on brand for Liz Best.
That's right. Know your brand. Yes. If you have not just that, any story devoted to love or romance gone by, send that in to ghostsofboyfriendspast@gmail.com.
Or any of our social medias.
Yes, please.
And I'd just like to leave you with the final thought of exactly what Tom said. Do things that are really nice, even if you don't think anyone's going to notice them.